I'm going to start this video off with a quote from the late Steve Jobs, and this was directed towards Larry Page, the CEO of Google. Figure out what Google wants to be when it grows up. It's now all over the map. And you guys, throughout this video, you will figure out why I am telling you this quote. And at the end of the video, hopefully, you'll fully understand why I'm telling you this now. As many of you know, I actually reached 1,000 subs last weekend. Once again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for that. But I also reached some arbitrary number on my Google Plus profile, which is completely different from a Google Plus page, as you'll later find out in this video. But on my Google Plus profile, I reached some number that I don't even know what that number is. It doesn't specify it or anything. But basically, I reached that number. Google's like, "Hey, zombachu, hey, you there. Let's give you a custom URL, alright?" So I'm like, okay, even though I don't really use Google Plus, you know, I've always kind of wanted to get into it. It seems like a good social. It's not one of the best social networks, but I mean, since Google automatically created a profile for me against my will, I might as well use it, right? So I clicked on the Get URL button, and it took me to my Google Plus profile page. And at this moment, I'm a little bit confused. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I'm scrolling through it. I don't see anything that says click here to get your URL or something, or it didn't do it automatically or anything. I looked through all of my settings. Like, there's 3 different settings for this crap, but I looked through all of them. Nothing there as well. So I go back to the email. Luckily, Google provided an extremely helpful link in their email. It says, "Dear zombachu, you are now eligible for a unique Google Plus custom URL." And if I were to click that link, then it'll take me to this extremely helpful support article, which is very convenient, as it says basically to do what I just did, and I'll get my URL. So basically, it's like, hey you, go to your Google Plus profile page, go to the section where you thought it was going to be, and then click the button that you thought was going to be there, except it really isn't there. So you know what? You Google Plus support article, you're not helpful at all. So I googled this issue, and then I found some articles on it. CNET had an article, Forbes had an article and stuff on it. Basically, they just copy and pasted what the support article said, which does not help me one bit. So after searching in Google, I found this interesting Google Plus help community thing where people ask other people questions and stuff. And after searching in there, I found an issue that's similar to mine. I received an email inviting me to get a custom URL, but there's no way to get the URL, blah blah blah. And people answered it. Basically, Kale Kohler said that Google Plus profiles are different than pages in the fact that pages you can get custom URLs while profiles you usually can't. And you know, this was completely 100% explained on the page where it tells you what's the difference between a profile and a page on the Google official support article. Alright, so I'm still somewhat faithful to Google Plus now. I mean, it's a little bit of a hassle, but I still kind of want to get my custom URL. So I go ahead and make a Google Plus page, which is entirely different than a Google Plus profile. I mean, why would you ever consider a Google Plus profile, which is a web page, with a Google Plus page, which you still call a page like the Google Plus profile page? So you know what, Google, fix your damn naming system. But anyways, I made a Google Plus page. That's now my official thingy-mabobbers. And it has all the stuff that was on my old one now, which is pretty nice. So now that I have a nice and shiny new Google Plus page, which is still entirely different than a Google Plus profile, I would want to sync it to my YouTube channel, right? You would imagine that would be easy considering how much they're integrated, right? Wrong. You are very, very wrong. So basically, I was looking through my YouTube settings and stuff like that, and I couldn't find how to link it. I looked at my Google Plus settings. I couldn't find how to link it there either. So I found another support article on Google, and it turns out that I have to go into my YouTube settings, not my channel settings, which is, you know, YouTube settings are entirely different than channel settings. They have absolutely nothing, because you know your channel isn't on YouTube at all. So basically, I go into my YouTube settings, and there's a link there that says, decouple your Google Plus profile from your page or something like that. And I click on that, and it's like, alright, it'll take a while, come back in 20 minutes. So I come back after 20 minutes, and hey, guess what? It's not ready at all. So I take the iPad out with me to watch Bourne Ultimatum, and around halfway through, it's finally ready. And by the way, if you guys don't know, Bourne Ultimatum is almost 2 hours. It's not a short movie at all. So halfway through is nearly an hour. So after an hour, even though it said it only had 20 minutes, after an hour, it's finally ready. Now, I'm not going to criticize Google too much on this. I know that servers can be strained if there's a lot of traffic and stuff, and other factors might be factored in. And, you know, it's totally not like Google's the third largest company with $60 billion in revenue each year. But, you know, let's just completely ignore that fact and just assume that they had their servers were straining or something. And you would think everything would be alright. Right? Well, no, because as soon as I left for a little bit, like 5 minutes, went to go put the iPad back in its charging station sort of thingy, I came back and YouTube signed me out. Now, this isn't a large issue at all. I just signed back in, right? Well, after I sign back in, I see that I don't have anything on my channel. And right now, I am completely flipping out. Because I've heard many tales about people who do things to Google Plus, and then Google Plus is just like, no, you, and basically it wipes all their data off their channel, wipes all their subscribers out, or at least takes a good portion of their subscribers with them. It might take some videos down, and yeah, it's just a mess. So once again, I was flipping out when I saw a blank channel. But then I looked at the channel URL, saw that it was a bunch of mess and numbers and stuff, looked at my name, it said Zombachu, so right now I am extremely confused. Because right now it looks like I'm signed into Zombachu, except I'm not signed into Zombachu. So after a little bit of digging in, I found out that this is actually a separate YouTube channel than my main one that actually has stuff on it. Thank goodness. So it's just like the Google Plus profile that Google made for me without my consent. They also made me another YouTube channel without my consent. So you would think it would be simple to get rid of this channel, which I did not want in the first place, by the way. Thank you very much, Google. But at this point, I'm using Yahoo. So I Yahoo'd this situation, found a Google support article, clicked on it, says to scroll down to my YouTube settings. And by the way, YouTube settings are still entirely different than channel settings. So I go to my YouTube settings, it says go to advanced, I click on advanced, it says scroll to the bottom, and click the delete channel button. Guess what? There is no delete channel button. So right now I'm wondering if it's some bug or something. So I go to my main channel, check it out there. Turns out that I can delete that channel, but I can't delete the channel that I didn't want in the first place. So thank you, Google, for that. Now there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Google, this morning actually, Google sent me a new email telling me that I could get a custom URL, and this one actually works. This is for my Google Plus page, not my profile, which is still entirely different. So, I guess all is well that ends well, except for the fact that I have an extra channel. If you guys know anything that I should do with that channel or how to get rid of it, then please tell me. That'll be nice. Thank you for listening to my rant on Google Plus. I know I promised Crimson Stone for today, but sorry about that. Life got in the way and 1,000 sub special and stuff. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, goodbye. If you're some Google fanboy or whatever, and you're gonna call me an idiot in the comments, or how Google's better than this, or how I'm a nice sheep or something like that, then I really honestly couldn't care less. I mean, if you dislike my video, if you post hate comments telling me to kill myself, or unsubscribe from me or whatever, it's alright, because don't worry, I already have another YouTube channel.